What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting to you from the D. And things is rough out here, even for Keith Sweat. He was doing a show, and sometimes people pull out their camera phone. Well, a lot of times, actually. They pull that boy out, they got to recording him, and he was kind of going in on modern women for a little bit. He didn't get too nasty, but he was to the point. You can tell he was not kidding. He said that he is single. I mean, this is wild, him doing this in the middle of a show. I guess sometimes the artist gets a bit candid, but he was saying he is single, and he said he sees too much entitlement nowadays. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he said the women, they don't want to cook, they don't want to clean. He could do that stuff himself. But if he has to do that himself, why does he need a woman? He was saying how women be talking about they are the table. He was not feeling that. That his mama taught him how to iron his own shirts and whatnot. So this was very interesting, man. Dude was saying that he'll do the whole, what y'all call it now? Y'all call it a sneaky link. He'll hit those up. He got some chicks that he'll just deal with, I guess, just on a physical basis or whatever. He'll hit them up and be like, hey, what's up? And that'll be that. But he ain't got no girlfriend. He's not in a monogamous relationship. Man, it's gotta be rough out here in these streets if dudes like Keith Sweat are suffering from the exact same things that the rest of the dudes is complaining about. Because the thing is this, Keith Sweat never had a problem attracting women. I don't think he does now either. But I'll just give y'all a quick bit of backstory for those of you who need it. Keith Sweat, he was like the founder basically of New Jack Swing during the 90s when he was at the absolute height of his powers. He was killing it. Him and Bobby Brown was like, they weren't rivals. Even though they kind of were doing the same genre, there was no beef between them. A lot of times when people are kind of rivals, there's a beef between them. There wasn't no beef between them. They was just really killing it. They were the two dominant ones, and they knew it. They was doing their own thing, kind of tag teaming it. Did they ever do any collabs, man? I don't think so, but that would have been dope, especially if they would have did like a album with the two of them, man. I'll have to check and see if they did any collabs though. But man, he was at the top of his powers back then in the 90s. All right, he would have women screaming for him, man. I remember this one thing, he had a chick come up. No, he went. Did he ever come up on stage? He was just singing to her. Like, you not a little girl no more. You all a woman. I mean, that's the type of stuff that Keith Sweat used to be on, man. So he ain't had no problem wooing women. His voice, he could sing them right on out of their underwear. But now he's starting to have some of the same complaints as the rest of us have. He's saying that the women, they don't want to do nothing. They just want to be with you and just benefit. They don't want to do anything, any sort of acts of service for the guy that women are typically known to do. Don't want to make you no lunch, don't want to make your bed, just don't want to do nothing. And I guess they be thinking like, if they with a guy like him, they shouldn't have to do that stuff. He can pay people to do that stuff. But y'all got to remember, man, dudes don't be wanting to pay for housekeeping and all this sort of stuff. Not to say that his woman got to be a housekeeper, but when you get to a certain age and, you might not be killing it financially the way you used to, you really cut costs because your money got to last you the rest of your life. So you start cutting costs where you can. And services like that really aren't necessary, they're really like a luxury. It's like, why do I really need this? Why do I need to have people come in here, several times a week to vacuum the living room and make the bed and all this sort of stuff. And I got a woman that's spending all this time over here, and I do all types of things for her. She don't think enough of me to, just do some light housekeeping. I don't think that's really too much to ask for. If you taking care of her financially, she wants for nothing. She benefits from being in your sphere of influence. I don't think it's too much to expect her to reciprocate with doing something like that. I don't know why nowadays women are so allergic to doing anything for a man at all. They be complaining about men listening to the red pill stuff. Well, I don't know what to call it for the women. Is it pink pill, or is it just outright feminism or misandry or whatever? But they are handing y'all the playbook to land yourselves alone. I mean, they tell you never to do anything for a man at all. And I don't know where this is coming from. The modern woman playbook, it just does not work, especially when you want the men to still be traditional. And that's fine with wanting a man to be traditional. I have no issue with that. Him to provide, pay the bills and protect. I have no issue with that. But you can't be expecting a man to be traditional, but you want to be a modern woman. Those things, they just generally don't work. And the modern woman playbook has gotten so obnoxious to where you got high profile guys like Keith Sweat saying he not feeling this stuff. It's funny because there was no sighs or gasp or anything coming from the audience. They was just dead silent. It's almost like they were either surprised that he was going there, and I'm sure some were, and others who weren't so surprised. I mean, could they really argue if what he was saying was true or not? It's not like we're not seeing this happening with our own eyes. We're not seeing this happening everywhere around us. You have a group of women, and it's not all. I got to make sure I make that known. It's not all. But you do have a group of women that it's almost like they expect to be paid to be in a relationship. Like you should be so happy for the privilege of being able to take care of them. And these don't be any, like baddies. I mean, these don't be any women that are in the prime of their life. These don't be any women that are particularly beautiful. These be average to below average women. Usually a lot of times they've had multiple kids and whatnot. And that doesn't necessarily make you a bad catch. But it's like the expectations that you have of someone else while you're bringing this type of baggage along with you, it doesn't add up. So I don't think Keith Sweat mind, buying Happy Meals for kids or taking kids to the park and whatnot. He don't strike me as a type that would eliminate a woman just because she's a single mom. But you can't be coming into the situation past your prime, multiple kids by somebody else, and he has to do for you and do for them, and you're not even willing to vacuum the living room. Man, it just doesn't work. But I'm gonna leave it there though, man. Keith Sweat, God and produce, hell, some of them kids that he'll be taking care of, he created the music to which they was produced to. Right? He was making music for years. I mean, some of that stuff still hit. You can still rock out to that stuff for a romantic evening. But let me know what you guys think. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in them comments. I'ma holler at y'all. Peace.